Let me tell you about the biggest struggle that I've had in my entire life. One thing. And I want you to ask yourself the same question too. If you had a friend that talked to you in the same way that you talk to yourself, you wouldn't even be friends with them. Consistently, I call myself a pussy. Like, bro, what are you doing? Shut up. Get to work. I snap at myself. I talk to myself unkindly. Barely forgive myself. I think that's being productive. I think that's a great thing because it's like, oh, I'm hard on myself. I'm disciplined. I'm all this. I'm hardworking. I have high standards. Bro, you need to be your own best friend because there are things in life that will try and tear you down. And you need to be your own best friend because when things try and tear you down, you can't be the one to tear you down even further. You can't be tearing yourself down as well. When things get hard, bro, you gotta be your own biggest fan. And I know you've heard that millions of times and you don't really know what it means. I didn't know what it meant at first either, but I'm about to tell you. Being your own best friend doesn't mean doing whatever you feel like, obviously. Being your own best friend doesn't mean buying you everything that you want now. Being your own best friend doesn't mean like, oh, I'm gonna buy you this gift now so that you don't have to do any work, bro. I'm gonna like just let you relax. I'm gonna serve you. No. Being your own best friend means treating your future self like royalty. Being your own best friend means treating your future self like a king. You want to live like a king. You want to live like a millionaire. You want to have like that lifestyle that you want. I don't care what it is. If you're not even treating your future self in that respect, with that reverence, say goodbye to it. Say goodbye to a future that has that. Say goodbye to a future where you feel like you're getting what you deserve because you're not even treating yourself with the respect that you feel like you want to deserve. So why would other people give it to you? How can someone else believe in you or respect you when you don't even believe or respect in yourself? It's difficult. Maybe even impossible. But it's not impossible because you control it. Pussy. I'm here to talk to you like that, not yourself. That's why you watch me. I'm here to call you a pussy, call you out on your bullshit, so that you don't have to for yourself. Obviously, call yourself on your bullshit. If you're making excuses, you break the promises to yourself, fair enough. But we beat ourselves up over it to the point where it doesn't even help us anymore. We let it linger. You let it linger and eat away at your self-image. It's a beautiful thing to have. I'm not even going to lie to you. Insecurity, dogging on yourself, like that drive is a beautiful thing to have. But a lot of times we let it rule us, right? We let our insecurities rule us. Opinions of others rule us. Self-talk rule us. And here's the special thing, like these things aren't inherently bad, but you let them take over you. Like you let them control you. You let them influence the way you live and see yourself. The way you see yourself is the most important thing. Let me tell you something. The meter in which you use to judge yourself is the same meter in which you use to judge others, and vice versa. The meter in which you use to judge others is the same meter in which you use to judge yourself. So if you constantly judge other people, if you constantly look at him or her, oh, he's just looking for attention, she's just looking for approval, before you know it, man, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes second nature. You realize you do the same for yourself. Because you're spending 100% of your time with you. And when you do that, you can't help but to judge yourself for everything that you do. So if you want to judge yourself less, man, judge others less. Easier said than done, obviously. But it's not impossible. I think judging people is a good thing to an extent. And judging yourself to a certain extent is good as well. But a lot of times we identify with our emotions. We identify with our results. And we identify with our judgment. You ever meet someone and like hate them at first, but then the more you get to know them, you're like, hey, this guy's pretty chill. And you end up becoming pretty good friends. I feel like we don't even give ourselves that opportunity. We just see ourselves as this one thing. And then we find, through those beliefs, we find things to back it up. And we just have this core belief that's like built up and reinforced over and over and over and over. And we don't even give it a second thought, even if it is a limiting belief. I struggle with this especially. The way that I talk to myself has got to improve, man. Or else the person that does figure it out the person that does actually, like, let's say he's equal to me right now in every way, but he just changes the way that he talks to himself. Not even in the way that he talks to other people or social skills, just the way that he talks to himself. He's gonna fucking destroy me. Because little habits like these are exponential. They add up, bro. The voices that you have in your head can either take a toll on you and drain you, or they can build you up, keep you going, and push you forward. And I feel like 80% of my thoughts are negative, and so are yours. You don't even realize it, because I didn't even realize that at first either. But when I really took time to journal and just think about the thoughts I was having, I'm like, man, a lot of these thoughts are seeing the glass half empty. A lot of these thoughts are reminding me of how worthless I still am. To an extent, that's incredible. You know you're worthless, because you are. You haven't built anything. You haven't built any success. You haven't built any part of the life that you wish you have. Good. Because that just shows you, like, number one, you're not afraid. You're not afraid of where you are now. You're not afraid of where you want to go, how far away it is from you. And number two, gives you a direction in life. And when you don't have a direction in life, you know exactly what I mean. When you don't have a direction in life, you just feel a sense of dread, purposelessness, and you'd rather, like, I don't want to say it, but it's like, you feel like if you were dead or alive, the world would be the same. And it would. So change that. I know you want to change that. Who wants it more? If you really wanted it bad enough, you would take into account little things like self-talk. And self-talk isn't like positive thinking or any of that bullshit. It's talking to yourself with respect. And yes, sometimes respect means calling yourself a pussy. But if that's 80%, 60%, even 50% of your thoughts, you're doing it wrong. You're treating yourself like a slave. Treat yourself with reverence. Talk to yourself like a king. Way easier said than done. I'm nowhere near this. But this is the direction that I'm headed. And it should be your direction as well, because when you start to do this, you'll find like your self-image is just a culmination of the habits, culmination of the identity that you put forth to the world, and the identity that you allow yourself to see, and the stories that you tell yourself about yourself every single day. And it adds up. It adds up. And as the years go by, little habit like this will either drain you or make you. I know how stupid this sounds, okay? Because so many people have told me about this before, and I just never followed it. But so many people have told me self-talk is incredibly important. And you won't ever succeed unless you find a way to balance, like, your critic with your fan. Like, your inner critic with your inner fan. With your inner best friend. These two don't have to be separate things. They can be the same thing. You have to be your own best friend, man. And your best friend will call you out on your bullshit. But he'll also not break you down and fucking terrorize you. He'll break you down, call you out on your bullshit, and then he'll give you space. He'll give you some steps. He'll give you whatever it takes to get back on your feet and keep moving. Be your own best friend. Way easier said than done. And I can't tell you how to do that because I'm not high enough level in this. But I'm sure you can figure out the answer. Because no one can really tell you the answer except yourself. And as always, I have a free Telegram. It's the first link in the description. It's basically daily lessons and advice from me if you want to hear more from me. You should click that. It's completely free. I think you'll find it useful. And if you want to hear more from a 17-year-old trying to figure out life, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. Get after it. Love you, bro.